Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be going over a pressure sensor on a Samsung washing machine, what its job is, how to replace it, and what could be some signs that it could be potentially giving you some issues. So first thing that you want to make sure that you do is you get all the screws out of the backside of the cover here. So I'll go through all of them that you'll need to be able to take out. You'll have to take out this one here. There's one here, one up here, one right there, one over here, and one right there. Okay, so you'll need to take out all of those in order to get this back cover off of here. Once you do that, you can just simply grab the bottom portion of that, and this back cover should just pop right on off of there. Now, what is the pressure sensor? Well, the pressure sensor is located right here. All right, and it's this bad boy here. Now, what that does is that when the water fills inside the tub, it creates a frequency. Okay, and this is what the pressure sensor is picking up. Now, on a empty tub, the frequency is right around about maybe 25.4 hertz. And then on a full tub, it's right around about 23 hertz, somewhere around in that area. So that's how the washing machine knows that water is getting into the tub. And it's measuring that frequency inside there. So that's what the job of the pressure sensor is it's monitoring the frequency in the tub and monitoring whether or not that it needs to add more water, maybe it needs to take out water. So there's no sensor on the drain pump, there's no sensor on the water valves or anything like that. It's all controlled by that pressure sensor. It monitors, like I said, that frequency. So when it drains, it's watching for that frequency to change so that it knows that the water is being expelled out of the machine. And when it's filling with water, it's looking for that to change as well, so that it knows that water is getting into the tub. I know it sounds backwards. You would think that as water goes in, the frequency would get higher, but it does the exact opposite. So when water comes in, the frequency lowers, and then as water gets evacuated out of there, the frequency gets higher, and that's how the washing machine knows. Now, another thing that this can potentially cause is it can cause a leak. And you're like, well, how can it cause a leak? Well, if you look right down here, I'm gonna try to see if I can get it down here. There's a little tube that goes into the back side of the Samsung washing machine. Now, this is where the chamber is for the air, and like I said, as water fills, the frequency of the air is being pushed out, and then it comes up through here and it measures up at top. Now, sometimes what can happen is this little tube itself can pop off. This one I've got on there pretty good, but it can pop off and it exposes that little nipple right there, and water's just going to shoot out of that thing and cause a flood on the floor. So that could be a potential issue if your washing machine's leaking like crazy. Then check out to make sure that hose is properly put on the back side of the tub. Sometimes the lubricant that they put that on there with can get in there and cause issues as well. So we want to make sure that it's got a clean hose. Don't ever blow through it or anything like that, because that could actually hurt the pressure sensor up here. It's got a little diaphragm in there, and if we put any air to it, then it could potentially hurt that pressure sensor. So let's go ahead and get that pressure sensor out of there, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. You'll need to take this screw out here, and then there's another one right here that you'll need to take out. And once you do that, you are able to flip the control panel right up, exposing the pressure sensor. Now, this pressure sensor just has a small little plug here. You press down on that and you're able to pop that off, and it's not held in by any screws. It's held in by these tabs, so you'll have to push the tabs. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. See, got it. And so now we can take that pressure sensor off. I can show you down here. So it's just a little itty bitty guy. It goes right there, and that's what monitors the water level inside your washing machine. So now, what could be some signs and symptoms that something's going on with this? Now, by the way, when you put this back in here, you want to make sure that there's no kinks or anything like that in there, because that could give the pressure sensor a false reading. So what can happen? Well, this, like I said, its job is to monitor the frequency inside the tub. So maybe if the water's not draining, it could be a potential issue with the pressure sensor. More than likely, you're going to have something stuck in a drain pump when it's not draining, or there's an issue with the drain pump. But this one right here, if there's a hole, like say if there's like a teeny tiny little pinhole in there, it's not going to measure the correct the frequency in there, so it's going to have issues, and it could potentially overflow. But Samsung does have a built-in safety feature on there that if it does not reach its frequency in a certain amount of time, it'll shut the water off. So that way it does not flood anybody's house or anything like that. But could it potentially? Yeah, it could. I mean, anything's possible, right? But we want to make sure that we look at this pressure sensor here and make sure that it's working properly. Now, this is in constant communication with the main PCB, even when the machine is turned off. And the reason why is because it's constantly looking for that frequency. So if you've got a leaky water valve, maybe one of your water valves is not properly seating and closing, then that can cause issues with water getting into the tub. And so the job of the pressure sensor there is to monitor that even when it's turned off. So therefore, you're able to not flood your house. If it notices the frequencies changing and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I haven't activated anything, I haven't activated the drain pump, I haven't activated any water valves, my power's shut off, something's not right. It's going to turn on the drain pump and just evacuate the water out of there until it does, and then it'll shut itself back off. So you may hear something like, oh, well, the drain pump kicked on in the middle of the night or something like that. Then you've probably got a leaky water valve and you need to get that fixed. So I haven't seen too many failures with these pressure sensors. They hardly ever fail, but usually what happens is the hose gets a little hole in it and needs to be replaced, or again, it's just a complete failure where it's not going to monitor anything, but then you should get an error code on there. All right, so that is the pressure sensor on a Samsung top-load washing machine. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for me. You guys be safe out there, and we'll see you guys on the next one.